Hi friends, it's Lori and welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be all about using the natural light you have to take a beautiful image and then using Photoshop to give it an even more in-depth ethereal look. So this is the before image that we're going to work with. Now I already played with it and created this version, but we're going to do it from scratch and see what we create this time around. Now, I shot this image in late afternoon. I was shooting into the light so you can see all the beautiful light hitting these flowers and all the bokeh that I was able to get. So bokeh is this circular light that comes off the aperture on your lens. So I was shooting these at about f5.6 with a long lens. So it was a 70 to 300, and I was at 300 millimeters. So I was standing back from this area and I zoomed in on these flowers. Now, right now, these are in a garden bed and it's a little bit of a cluttered scene. So what I want to do is give it even more of an ethereal look. And we're just going to use some really easy techniques in Photoshop. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and open the image in Photoshop. So I'm in Lightroom right now. To edit in Photoshop, you can just right click and go to edit in Photoshop. Now you can open it as a smart object. That is recommended if you want to save all the work that you do. So let's just go ahead and open it as a smart object. I made a commitment this year. I'm going to try to use smart objects more. The beauty of a smart object, it does save all your file data in Photoshop, but if you make your layers a smart object, you can adjust them. I'll show you that as we go today. All right, if you are new, I'm glad you're joining me today, and we're just going to have fun playing and giving this more of that ethereal, kind of dreamy look. All right, so I didn't do this the first time around, but what we're going to do first, we are going to duplicate our background layer. I always like to do that. It's just kind of old school habit. And then what I want to do is go up to image, and we are going to do image rotation and flip it. Now, I didn't do this initially, but as I edited it, I really wanted the story to kind of lead your eye through the frame. And I just felt it was a little distracting the way it was the other side. I don't often flip images, but I felt like in this situation, I liked it this way. I wanted to kind of flip it. Now, I also want to extend the canvas a little bit. So to do that, we're going to go up to the crop tool. And the reason is I want a little bit more of this beautiful light. So I'm going to bring it over just a little bit. And then I'm going to actually bring it in on this side. And we're going to go down to our toolbar. Now, if you don't see this toolbar, it should pop up for you. But you can go up to Window, and you can see the contextual toolbar. It should be, you can check it if you don't have it activated. We're going to click Generative Expand, and then we're just going to click Generate. And that's going to tell Photoshop or the AI tool that we just want to mimic what's in the scene. So we're just going to generate. This is the new way to extend your canvas. There used to be an old-fashioned way where you could kind of tell it what you wanted. And before all those fancy tools, I used to use the clone tool to do it. So it's going to give us 3 options, and we're just going to see what works best. I'm afraid that it's not going to pick up the bokeh that I want. It did okay, so that's not bad. That one's better. And I don't like that one too much. So I think this one's good. I'm going to be doing some cloning and blurring, so I think this is totally fine. And I just like that addition of some space. Now, I still may decide to bring it in just a little bit, meaning I think I could come in and maybe even just a little bit right there is all I'm needing. I just wanted a little bit more balance on this side of the image. Okay, so I do want to share sometimes these structural changes you don't see until you start getting into your edit, and that's okay. In this instance, I've already edited this image once, and so I'm pretty familiar with what I'm wanting. But But just know when you're editing images, sometimes you don't notice these structural things until you get finished. All right, so at this point, I am in a really good place. And what I want to do is go ahead and do a stamped layer. That's going to be Command, Option, Shift, and the letter E. That's going to give us a fresh new layer to work with. Now you want to do that when you know what's underneath is your set. You are in a good place with. All right, so the next thing I want to do is add some blur. So we're actually going to click on this layer. And you want to click on the gray part. And we are going to convert to a smart object. So it's an extra step, but it's going to allow us to adjust the blur if we need to. This is really important if you are new to editing. So all you do is go to that gray box, right click, and do convert to smart object. All right, now we're going to go up to our filters. And the first thing I want to do is add a Gaussian blur. So we're going to click Gaussian blur, and we can just kind of play with the amount. I want to still have some details. So I think that's looking pretty good. So I think for this image, we'll do about 34, and we're going to click OK. Now let me show you the beauty of a smart filter. We can click on the Gaussian blur, and it takes us right back, and it lets us change it. If we had not done a smart object, we wouldn't be able to do that. We'd have to start over. So it's a really good habit to get into, is to go ahead and make it a smart object. All right, I'm going to come over and let's just keep it right there. Maybe a little bit more. I think I had it at 36. Okay, we'll stick with that. Now, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to go to the layer mask and I am going to invert it. Let's see. You can do Command I and it's going to invert it. And that you've also got these buttons right here. It is going to make it black. So now our Gaussian blur is hidden. You can't see it, right? So we're going to use white paint. We're going to go up to our brush and we are going to make sure that we have up at the top, I'm up here in the top left corner, you want to make sure you have a soft round brush. Now for the opacity, I am going to start with about maybe close to 50%. I like to keep my flow all the way up. That doesn't matter to me. Now what I want to do is start adding that blur. And I'm just going to add it where I want it. And we're starting really low. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to increase the opacity. So let's take it up to about 70. And I do want to really blur these edges. And I'm going to come around. And I definitely want to add. And you know what? Yeah, we're on the right layer. Okay, it's taking its time there. So I want to add that. And then let's go back to the 50%, somewhere around there. And I want to softly blur some of the flowers here, just a little bit. And come back around. And then let's go ahead and take it up to 100%. And I'm just going to blur this bottom section more. And I do want to blur this stick a little bit more. We could also take that off if we wanted. And then we can flip it to black. We can lower our opacity and we can come in and where we specifically want our flower to be kind of sharp, we can bring that back. Now you don't want to have like rough edges. So what I do is I go back and forth. You can use your X key, flip it to white and take it back up maybe to 50%. And I'm just going to kind of dance around these edges just a little bit. So just kind of play with it to get it where you like it. All right, I like those guys being a little bit sharp. And I think these look pretty nice. Let me flip it to black. I'm going to lower the opacity again. So it's just a dance. I'm going to bring out just a little bit of those details. Okay, so I think we're getting there. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to add another blur layer. So I want to blur, well, actually, I don't necessarily need to blur this more. I actually want to clone it a little bit. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do another stamped layer, Command-Shift-Option in the letter E. I like to start with a fresh, clean slate. I'm going to grab the clone tool, and I'm going to come over and click the Option key to select, and I'm just going to start cloning. There we go. I'm going to start cloning some of this bokeh and light. There we go, to just make it cohesive. And you can go over it kind of multiple times to get the look that you're wanting. There we go. And I think I'm going to use some of that and come around here. All right, beautiful. That is giving it way more of an ethereal look. Now, I do feel like this side still needs some more blur. So let's go ahead and we can convert this to a smart object. And then I'm going to go back to my filter. I'm going to do another Gaussian blur. And let's play with the amount. And maybe instead of Gaussian blur, let's cancel that and let's go up to filter blur. Let's do a motion blur. And I think we're going to take it, yeah, maybe a little diagonal. That's fun. So you can just turn this dial and it changes the motion. We're going to click OK. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the opacity. And I'm just going to slide that down a little. And that's just giving it a little bit of movement. Now we have got our mask here. And what I'm going to do is make sure I have black, go back to my brush, and it may be about, again, 50%. I want to just take it off a few of my flowers. So just bringing back some of that detail. But I do like what it did over here. Now, I still don't feel like this is as soft as it was before. So I'm going to have to think about, let me go back to the original image. Yeah, it had a lot more circular bokeh. It's interesting. I'm liking where this one is headed though. So very similar. I just think it needed more of the circular light. So a trick that we can do is I'm actually grab the eyedropper and I want to select this kind of soft gold that is in our image. We need to be on the layer. I'm going to select that kind of soft gold, maybe this color gold. Okay, so we've got our color selected. I'm going to go to the brush and I'm going to make the opacity really low. And then I'm just going to kind of pop in some of that light. Yeah, that's fun. So that's one way you can make things a little more cohesive, especially when you have kind of all that bokeh going on. And if you want to soften it just a little. I also don't want it to take away from the subject. And I feel like it's doing a little bit of that. Now I'm going to flip it to white and I'm going to take it down and just pop in some white also. Come around. Yeah, just kind of bring that cohesiveness. Okay, so I'm liking that. What we're going to do is do another stamped layer. So now we've got a clean slate. I'm going to grab the crop tool and I think I'm going to go ahead and bring this in just a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I needed that expand, at least for this version. You know, that's why a lot of times I will wait to expand or crop until after I've done my edit. But I thought that's what I wanted, but you know, as you edit, you kind of see how the image comes through and you don't necessarily need it. Now, one other thing that I did is I'm going to go down and I want to add a color lookup. So we're going to go to color lookup, and this is where you can change different color views. And that's the soft warming. There's the teal and orange, which a lot of people like to use. Here's late sunset. There is another one that I really like, crisp winter. That one's nice. So you can see it gives this image an entirely different look. So what we can do is bring down the opacity, but it's giving us a little bit more blue tones in addition to the gold. And yeah, I kind of like it for something a little bit different. Now, the other thing I may try with this one is I like to, in my images, sometimes doing a curves adjustment. So then I'm going to bring down that color a little bit and then bring it up in the highlights just a little bitty bit maybe. I'm not sure I'm liking that dark. So if you wanted it really ethereal, you could pop the shadows. So bringing them up makes that way more ethereal looking. I think it takes away from that winter look, but you could go back to your color lookup and you could increase that opacity back. That's making it really bright. And if we get rid of it, kind of like that blue tone, but I'm not sure about the curve. So if you're a person who really likes your images kind of bright and cheerful, you may prefer this version. If you prefer things to be a little warmer, you may want to keep that kind of winter darkness with a little pop of the dark shadows. So I think that one's pretty. Either way works nice. Now, another thing that I would do is I'm going to go ahead and add some contrast. So what contrast is going to do is bring out the definition. And sometimes you may feel like the image looks a little flat. There's before, it has a little glow, and there's after the contrast. So it's just a personal preference. I also can see that my crop is still not right on that edge. I'm going to bring that in so those little flower buds are not there. Get that all cleaned up. Now, I didn't use any brushes or paint on this image. This was truly just using blur filters and a little bit of some color changes. So you can turn off the color lookup. I really like the golden hue here, so I almost think I'm going to leave that. Now, another change we could try is we could go to selective color and we could go to the blue channel and we could see if we can make it, I think it's probably going to be the green channel. Let's go try the greens. And we're going to add a little blue to those greens. Yeah, I'm seeing just a little change. Not much. Let's try the cyans. There's more blue. So let me show you before and after. So if you like it more of the blue versus that teal, that would be an option. And you can always reduce the opacity. So if you just want a little hint of that on the bluer side, there you go. Before, it's that kind of green, and there's after. It's just very, very subtle. Now, I did not use any changes here to the different modes. You can always try some of those if you want. All I really did was use those blur filters, manage the opacity, manage some of the masking, and then played with a couple editing techniques to get our final image. So I hope you enjoyed turning this kind of basic image from a winter scene into something really ethereal, a little abstract, and I think just something that really expresses the season of winter. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.